Hello again, everybody, and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I'm Gary Glenn, and this is Hall County Sports. Got a busy couple of weeks coming up, despite the fact that the folks are on their Christmas break. In fact, this is Lanierland week, with games that have been going on all week long. In fact, they held the FCA breakfast for everybody, the teams that came in, the basketball teams, this past Thursday over at Free Chapel. Jason Lester and his guys with the Fellowship of Christian Athletes always do a great job. And on next week's show, we will have the championship results from this year's Lanierland basketball tournament. Talk about a few highlights from basketball of last week. Led by the Rushton twins, the 10th-ranked North Hall girls beat Pickens 70-60. Mary Kate had 31 points, while her sister McKenna had 15 points and 10 rebounds. Sarah Pascal also had a double-double with 10 points and 12 boards. Trojan boys made it a sweep that night with a 61-45 win. Amani Cross led with 16. And we bring to the show now an old friend of mine, somebody we get along with pretty well over here, Benji Wood. And Benji, first of all, thanks for taking time out to be with us. I know it's a busy week for you this week, and plus the fact you've got a new baby.
Yes,
Tell me about the baby boy.
He was born about 6 weeks ago, Cooper William Wood, and we're excited. We now have a boy and a little girl. In fact, my little girl made me promise to say hello to her. So Avery, Dad loves you. And Avery, Cooper, and my wife, Nicole. So it's busy at the Wood household right now with basketball and a new baby, but we're enjoying it and having fun.
Absolutely. She enjoyed being a big sister?
Oh, she loves her baby brother.
Well, that's the way it ought to be. Now, I got my babies are 27 and 24, so there's going to be some sibling rivalry going on. But you know, now there's grown men, they get along real well. That's a good thing. Well, let's talk some basketball. You guys are playing pretty well.
We are. We have just a great bunch of kids that are excited about playing with one another, and we've got off to a really good start. So we're just going to try to get better every day and see where that takes us.
You know, when I read the accounts of the things on the web or in the paper and all this, it seems like you got different guys doing it every night. You know, and that's the way you coach, isn't it? That's
kind of a staple who we are. You know, our motto this year is to give to a cause greater than ourselves, and that's what we try to teach kids is the life lessons you learn from basketball and from sports in general. And one of those biggest lessons is to be unselfish and to give of yourself to something that's bigger than yourself. And our guys really do a great job of supporting one another in that.
What's the makeup of the team, Benji? Seniors, juniors, sophomores, what you got?
We have a really good combination. We have 4 seniors right now, and I believe 6 juniors, sophomore, and couple of freshmen, so we have a good mix there, and again, we just have great kids.
Leadership always a key. You're getting pretty good things from that. Are you seniors and juniors?
Oh, no doubt about it. You know, Amani Cross, he doesn't have to play basketball. He's obviously his future's in football, but he is one of the finest young men that I've ever been around, and a phenomenal leader. And so he's really stepped in and taken the leadership role for us.
All right. What's the competition like in your league now? Now, things are going to change with this reclassification coming up, but this year, what you got?
Well, the Hall County teams are always tough. You know, you look down the road into the region, and you look at Gainesville, and Gainesville is always just loaded with athletes.
And they got the football players out now.
Yeah, I mean, you go watch them, and you go, gosh, here comes another one. Here comes another one. They're just always loaded with athletes, and Johnson's really good, and Walnut Grove is a very good team this year, and Franklin County and Monroe. So we have a good region.
Well, you'll know a little bit more after this week, won't you?
We will. We certainly will. You know, it's just so much fun. And we tell our kids it's like it's exam week. We've put the work in. We've studied. Now it's time to go take the exam and see where we shape up there.
All right, Benji. Thank you for coming in. Be talking to you soon again, I'm sure. And have a good time this Christmas. It's going to be great, you know, with the new baby and all. It's a blessing, isn't it? Huh?
We need to have fun.
There you go.
That's it.
Thank you. Benji Wood, head coach of the North Hall boys. You know, the basketball, Flowery Branch boys basketball team got by East Hall 66-64 in Flowery Branch. It avenged a season high. That's what I get for trying to print with bad ink. One more time, Nick. In 3, 2, 1. In other basketball, Flowery Branch boys basketball team beat East Hall, just got by them 66-64 in Flowery Branch the other night. Falcons got a game-high 25 points from Jamad Stevens to get back for a season-opening loss to the Vikes. J.C. Hampton led East Hall with 20. Now, Morgan Jackson had 24 as the East Hall girls beat the Branch 52-46. That sent them to 4-0 on the year. And we bring to the show now Coach Joey Ryder of the Lady Vikings. And Joey, off to a really good start.
We have been. This has been kind of a strange year for us, Gary, because we haven't played but 4 games, and here we are almost at Christmas time. So we've kind of gotten a late start. So we don't feel like we really got into the season real good. But the Saturday game against Flowery Branch was huge for us because Jasmine Jenkins, our point guard, was out, did not play at all, and she's a primary offensive weapon for us. So for the other girls to be able to step up and handle that situation and be able to come through, not only is that good for us, but it's good for the kids to know, hey, I can do it when I have to. If I need to step up, I can step up and play in that position too.
I saw Jasmine walking into that breakfast the other day with a boot on her foot and limping a little bit. So what's her status now? Is she better?
Well, we're day to day. She rolled her ankle and it swelled pretty good. Right now we're getting treatments twice a day, trying to get the swelling out. Mm-hmm. She's day to day. When we get to Lanier Land, I know the first part of the week she won't be available. If I had to guess right now, she wouldn't be available the whole time, but we're day to day and we'll find out.
All right. Well, of course, you are the defending champions of Lanier Land, and whatever happens, and we'll be back, by the way, next week, folks, on the show with the results from Lanier Land. I'll tell you that once again. Whatever the results are, you're going to see some pretty good competition right off the bat.
Well, we are. We've already played Flowery Branch. We've already played North Hall. We've already played Gainesville, and they were all very close games. I've seen a little bit of West Hall. I haven't had the opportunity to see Chestatee, but I know they've got a great record coming out of the gate. Yeah. So, as far as the girls' side, I really do. I think it's wide open. I think every game's competitive, first round all the way to the end.
Who's going to be the people to beat in your league this year, except for yourself?
Well, yeah, Rabun County has won the 8AA region for the last 3 years. They won it last year. We split with them. We got beat in the semis by Fannin, but we split with them in the regular season. Both games went into overtime, and they didn't graduate a soul. They brought everybody back. So in our region, that's probably the team to beat. That's the one everybody's trying to knock off right now.
Well, is a key for you? Because you did prove that you could win without Jasmine, sure. But are you deep enough to sustain these kind of losses, or is it one of the keys for you going to be to stay healthy this year?
Well, we need to stay healthy in key spots. There's no doubt about that. We do have a pretty good bench, but they're not ready to go for 32 minutes. So, the kids that we have on the bench are able to come in and play for 2 or 3 minutes and spell, and when they've got fresh legs, they're good players, but they're not ready to go for 32 minutes and have to push through certain situations and things like that. And so we need, certain positions we need to stay healthy because we're limited in the post. We're very thin in the post. And then, one of the things we talked about at Flowery Branch the other day, when it got toward the end of the game, we didn't handle that situation well. But for the last 4 years, Jasmine's handled that situation for us. And so at the point guard position, we really do need to be healthy for late game situations, running the clock out, and just handling press and things like that.
All right, Joey, thanks for coming in. Merry Christmas to you and the family over there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll have you on the show again next week.
That'd be nice.
In other basketball, it was a milestone for the Chestatee girls basketball coach after the Lady War Eagles beat Wanda Bear 41-29. Coach Webb Daniels' 100th career win. At the time, Chestatee was 6-2. They were led by Megan Kinnemer with 17 points and 6 rebounds. Flowery Branch's Tavia Sykes scored 20 to lead the Lady Falcons to a 47-42 win over West Forsyth, while Riverside survived Towns County 51-44. Hunter Dumas had 15 points for the Eagles, while Orlando Lynch was right behind with 14 points and 9 rebounds. Lakeview had a pretty good week last week. They swept Lumpkin County 40-34 girls and 89-61 boys. Kelsey Gilbert's 18 led the Lady Lion comeback, while the Mayo Pride got 14 from Joel Larson in their win. Lakeview also swept Commerce. The Lion boys crushed Commerce 77-27. Austin Pearson scored 16 points to lead the Lions there, while the Lakeview girls started it off with a 41-23 win, led by 12 points from Kelsey Gilbert. West Hall's boys got 13 each from A.J. Stevens and Hunter Atkinson in their 55-44 win over North Forsyth, while Johnson's boys got clutch foul shooting and held off Wanda Bear 62-58. Matt Hollis leading the night scoring with 22. And West Hall's boys also beat Oconee County 53-44. Tyjuan Cantrell had 22 to pace the Spartans. Gainesville swept Franklin County 41-19 girls and 64-54 boys. Rebecca Webster led the Lady Elephants with 10, while Shaquan Cantrell led the Gainesville boys with 21. And the North Georgia women's basketball team opened their Peach Belt Conference play with a 65-57 victory over Georgia College last week at Memorial Hall. The Lady Saints at the time were 4-2 and 1-0 in the Peach Belt. Started the game on a 7-0 run, never looked back. Jamie Carnes out of Gainesville High School led the offensive charge once again for the Lady Saints, registering her 6th straight double-double and pouring in a game-high 23 points and grabbing 11 boards. Back with more when Hall County Sports continues.
There are hundreds of options when choosing apparel or promotional items at J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case. We're all about quality and competitive pricing. Sports items are in stock. Look for special pricing on Letterman jackets, corporate apparel, corporate gifts, and custom embroidery. All local high schools should check out the line of spirit wear and trophies. We're also offering custom screen printing available for any team sport. Be on the winning side when you choose J. Geyer Advertising and the Trophy Case, locally owned and operated at 250 Dawsonville Highway, Gainesville. Call 770-718-0062 or on the web at jgeyer.com and trophycaseltd.com.
There are moments in life that you wish would last forever. Dreams that really do come true. Treasures worth protecting. And a future to prepare for. Turner Wood & Smith is with you every step of the way. Established in the Gainesville area in 1905. Turner Wood & Smith has become Northeast Georgia's largest independent insurance agency by offering professional service at competitive prices. Turner Wood & Smith, insuring your future since 1905.
Finally, a real gym in town for everybody. From folks just wanting to get in shape to world-class powerlifters and bodybuilders. Iron Beast Barbell features elite trainers from MMA, strongman, general fitness and weight loss, to cross-training, sports-specific, wrestling, even professional sports massage and wellness. Iron Beast Barbell, a 12,000 square foot facility with 24/7 access and no contracts. Home of the national champion Georgia Iron Dogs and national level bodybuilder Cheryl Cook. Voted Gym of the Month by bodybuilding.com. Iron Beast Barbell, located in the Gainesville Market Center behind Arby's and Chick-fil-A, 622 Shallowford Road, Gainesville. We are back. I'm Gary Glenn, and this is Hall County Sports. Well, the year ended for our local Iron Dog powerlifters this weekend in Loganville at the famous Body by George mini meet. This was a push-pull for benchers and deadlifters. You could just bench press, or you could just deadlift, or you could do both. The Dogs, lifting with a limited squad and failing to get valid lifts in from a couple of guys, gave up the meet team title they'd won for 2 years straight. Now, they did get individual first-place awards from Gary Hatfield, Chris McCann, Dwan Johnson, and yours truly. And Hatfield got a Best Lifter award. We'll have more on that meet and the great year for the Iron Dogs next week. But this week, we offer a different type of weightlifting. The Olympic lifters have dropped back in with us, and folks we've had with us before. From the Flowery Branch weightlifting program and Team Georgia and Team USA, C.J. Stockel, Hope Stockel, his daughter, Jimmy McIntyre, and Ellen Kirchen. We welcome them all back. First of all, guys, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a late Christmas present you're going to get. You know about it now, CJ, but these guys have gotten something pretty hot going on.
Yeah, they do. They have been invited out to the Olympic Training Center for a Junior World Prep Camp, if you will. They're inviting the top 25 boys and girls combined out to the training center, and these are the kids they think that will make, the 15 of these kids will make the Junior World Team.
That's really good. Let's just turn to your athletes right now. Hope, Jimmy, Ellen, all of you excited about this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave the day after Christmas, right?
Yes, sir.
Get on the plane and go. What do you hope to get out of there individually? First of all, Hope, tell me, what do you hope to accomplish out of it? But that's just hot. Olympic training. Are you kidding me? All right, what do you hope to get out of that?
I just hope to get better technique out of it and improve my lifts as I go so I can be able to have a chance to make it to the Youth Worlds.
Jimmy?
Or Junior Worlds.
I'm hoping to work on technique and set a few new PRs.
Oh, okay. Well, you're working just in practice, right? And see what you can get. Yeah. Ellen, thinking about that kind of thing?
Yes, about the same thing.
About the same thing? When did you find out, CJ?
We found out about a week and a half, about 2 weeks ago.
No.
It started coming out. After the American Open is when they started picking the kids out that they thought would be out there. And, everything else got their schedules out. But we were fortunate. Jimmy didn't have an opportunity to lift at the American Open simply because we were still playing football.
Yeah. So,
that was a real special one for me to be able to get him in because it's really on the work that he's done previous to this.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked at what these three did at the Youth World Championships this past year. Hope has one more opportunity at the Youth World because it is 17 and under. She'll be the youngest kid at this camp, still being 16.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. And you guys, what has been the best thing that you've gotten out of Jimmy plays football? But girls, and you too, Jimmy, what's been the best thing that you've gotten out of Olympic weightlifting and the training and the meets that you've gone to, other than the fact that you get to compete?
I'd have to say the best thing is, getting to meet all the other people when you get to go places and going to see all the different areas like around the world and around the United States.
Yeah. Hope?
Well, I've been lifting since I was like in 3rd grade, so
Yeah.
I think the best thing for me
Doing
is
broomsticks over your head and stuff like that?
Yes, of course. And, the best thing for me is just, like he said, just getting a chance to go like around the world and meet different people and make a lot of friends from different states.
Ellen?
It's just really a neat opportunity because how many people can say that they've been to South America and lifted that much weight, and it's just really fun.
Yeah, I see you guys. None of you are really big, and I see what you can put over your head, and it's just phenomenal to me. And you talk about technique. I know there's strength and quickness involved in that, but a lot of Olympic lifting, CJ, is technique, isn't it?
It's absolutely. I mean, especially in the snatch. They talk about the clean and jerk being the king lift, but the snatch is all technique. If you've got the speed and you get the bar, over your head and get under it fast enough, that really is what it's all about. And they've been able to stand up with it. Yeah, it's a little bit heavy.
And it helps you in other sports too. Now I know you used to play softball, and of course Jimmy plays football. How much has this meant to you in the other sports? Not just strength, but confidence and that kind of thing.
It means a lot. It makes a huge difference. I mean, I wouldn't be nearly as strong if I didn't do the Olympic lifting. I would just do if I just did the football workouts, I wouldn't nearly have the same explosive power that I do now.
Yeah, and as a smaller guy, you kind of need that to compete, don't you?
I do, yeah.
What about in softball?
For softball, I think it gives me a lot more confidence in my speed because I'm like one of the fastest girls on my team, and so it definitely helps me with like being explosive in my running and my hitting and stuff. So.
Ellen, you're just a weightlifter though, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you don't do anything? You're not a cheerleader or any of that kind of stuff?
No.
Okay. But now, life lessons from this. What does it mean for you just in walking around daily living for you to be an Olympic weightlifter?
What do you mean?
I mean, does it give you confidence in your daily life? Do you approach situations with more confidence, and like in your studies or just in daily living?
I've definitely looked to my education as first, and since I'm going to college next year, I'm using this as to go to college for free because it's getting offered scholarships for it.
Wow, you gotta like that now, huh? You gotta like that. All right. Are you going with them? Or?
No. I mean, training center, yeah. As far as college, no.
No,
I'm staying for college.
no, I didn't mean that.
My feet are down. I ain't going anywhere. No.
But you're going to go with them out to this?
Actually, yes. Myself and Stan Luttrell will be 2 of the coaches. The 3rd coach at the camp will become actually from California.
All right. That's pretty good. Right here in Hall County, folks, we got the coaches and some athletes that are going to be going to the Olympic Training Center.
Well, you got, like I said, 25 kids will be there. 1/4 of the team, 1/4 of the kids are coming from Hall County.
That's great.
So that's something to think about.
Listen, Merry Christmas to y'all, Ellen. All right, going to have some time to spend Christmas and hit the plane, right? Jimmy and Hope, CJ, always a pleasure. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we wish them well out there and good luck in the future. We take you to the mat when we return.
Hi, I'm Rob Bruce. I'm the pastor at McEver Road United Methodist Church. Christmas isn't here yet. As you can see, we've still got it packed away here at the church, as I'm sure you do in your house. But you know that it's on its way. And the funny thing is that we notice, and you probably have friends or maybe yourself suffer from Christmas blues at this time of the year. In fact, if you run a Google search on the term Christmas depression, you'll get over 45 million hits. There's a famous theologian that theorizes the reason for this is that we are so attached to Christmas as a child with feelings of belonging and feelings of fun that when we don't have those as adults that we become depressed. In fact, he goes on to say that the stories of Scrooge and the Grinch actually tell the story of what happens to us now as adults really better than almost the Bible. Not exactly, but almost. Well, in light of that, if you're feeling a little bit blue this Christmas, we're inviting you to come to our church, McEver Road United Methodist, and participate with us in an Advent sermon series from November 27th till Christmas Eve. The series will be on dealing with Christmas depression as seen through the eyes of the Grinch when it's laid next to the Christmas story. And that'll be at all 3 services, November 27th through Christmas Eve. The title of the series is Somehow or Other It Came Just the Same. And somehow or other, these decorations will be in the church then. Why don't you come and see?
Lancaster Music, Northeast Georgia's authorized dealer for Yamaha musical instruments, has a huge selection of consoles, studio, and grand pianos in all sizes and finishes. Check out the Yamaha Disclavier self-playing piano and award-winning Clavinova digital pianos that never need tuning. For gifts to delight any musician, Lancaster Music has keyboards, band and orchestra instruments, guitars, music books, and accessories. Lancaster Music, a musical tradition since 1949.
We're back. I'm Gary Glenn. This is Hall County Sports. As we said, taking you to the mat this segment for our wrestling wrap-up of the week. North Hall finishing in the top 10 at Cherokee High School at the Canton Clash Invitational this past week, led by Tyler Kratzer, who is first in the 138-pound weight class, and Taylor Merritt taking second at 106. We've had him on before. We welcome him back to the show. Jay Hargis, head wrestling coach for the North Hall Trojans, and a top 10 finish this weekend. Yep. 6th place, I believe, and 3rd place few weeks ago, so pretty good year for the Trojans so far, Jay.
So far, we've been in a lot of the finals matches, or at least in the semis, and so we got a lot of weight classes where our guys are pushing it and challenging. So real pleased with them.
Tyler Kratzer won.
Yes, he's
two tournament now, right?
Three. Won King of the Mountain, Creekview Invitational, and now at the Canton Clash. So he set a new school record, we think, possibly with the number of tournament championships.
Wow! All right. But you've got other people that are doing well. In fact, you had a couple. I mentioned Tyler and Taylor, but you had a couple more medalists just this past week, right?
Yeah. Taylor Merritt's been in the finals each tournament. Tyler Goss, Cam Howell is always placed in the top 3 or 4, or sometimes in the finals. Cam won one of the tournaments. Then we've had Alan Cattleman that was in the finals last week and placed 3rd or 4th this weekend. So those have been some of the top placers so far.
Numbers pretty good this year, Jay?
Real pleased with it. We've got a good JV group that was 4th at the tournament in the JV class this weekend, and we had, I think, 9 kids placed at our JV, and they really push our varsity guys.
Well, as you know, wrestling is one of my interests for many years now, and I've been following some of the teams here. It looks like the Hall County deal is coming up in January. That's going to be something else. I see a lot of improvement. Is that the way you see it?
Definitely. It was to where at one point when all the coaches came in this first time, we were looking at each other saying, all right, who's gonna get best first? And it's been a race. Chesapeake's definitely very, very strong this year. We edged them out at one tournament, and then heard they've done very well recently. So it should be interesting. Lumpkin's still in there. We defeated Oconee pretty well by 20 points this last week. So
I see the Flower Branch is pretty good. Johnson's come on a little bit better, and West Hall's always in the mix there. So it'd be an interesting tournament in Hall County. In your league, who's the big dog?
In AAA, it's Gilmer.
Oh yeah.
And,
yeah.
So Gilmer, we've been able to face them in several matches at the tournament last week, and actually Tyler beat one of the boys that plays at state for them last year. So I think we're going to at least be hopefully in the top 20 again, maybe even breaking the top 10 at state if we stay on track.
Are you pretty much got your lineup set now? You about where you're going to be, or you got some people that are going to be going down?
I think we still possibly have some shifting. The computer weight loss program now prevents several guys from making the lower weight, and we work hard, so we've got several guys in weight classes below what the computer will let them wrestle. And it's just because they're working hard.
Well, that's it, and that's got to be a key for you.
Oh yeah, they're really anxious and ready for when they get to the next weight class.
All right. Jay Hargis, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you.
Appreciate it.
And good luck to the Trojans the rest of the way, all right?
Thank you.
Now, Jay mentioned Chestatee. Well, the Chestatee wrestling team won the 3rd annual Clash for the Cup, beating West Hall 57-18 last week at West Hall. Jose Reyes at 106, Bart Velasquez at 113, Austin Donaldson at 120, Taylor Alvarado at 126, Cody Etris at 145, Kyle Wesley at 152, Cody Humphreys at 170, and Malik Wesley at 182, all won by pins. And then Chesterton finished second at the Red Raider Duels. War Eagles racked up victories against Madison County 83-0, East Jackson 72-9, and Commerce 45-33 before losing to Chattahoochee 25-43 in the finals. Dylan Brock, Austin Donaldson, Cody Etris leading the way for Chestatee, who after that was 14-5 on the year. They all picked up 4 wins apiece. Meanwhile, East Hall defeated Towns County 45-36 and George Walton Academy 48-17, but lost Riverside 45-26. Sophomore Jared Rogers at 160 pinned all of his opponents. Vikings also took a pair of duels over Towns County 45-27 and Murphy, North Carolina, after losing a close duel to Lumpkin County 27-36. That final at the John Smith Mountain Classic, 5 Viking wrestlers placed in their respective weight classes. C.J. Gaudelock and Edward Vergara were runners-up. Carlos Negron and J.D. Holloway were third, and Tyler Thomas took fourth. Back to wrap it up when we conclude.
Hi, I'm Rob Bruce. I'm the pastor here at McEver Road United Methodist Church. And I was thinking this morning about how complicated life is. We have a lot of choices to make in life and not a whole lot of guidelines to do it sometimes. It's like being a parent. You know, I'd hoped when I was a parent that our kids would come into the world with their instructions printed on their bottom, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. And parenting is so much guesswork. I'm amazed that we hear so many people talk on TV, and we can go into the bookstores and see the books and the folks on TVs that have all the answers, but you and I know that they don't have all the answers. And the answers aren't as simple as they tell us sometimes, that all you have to do is smile just right, or say this thing, or feed your children this, and everything will be all right. You know, Jesus gathered with his followers after he was raised from the dead on a mountain in Galilee. And in Matthew 28, it tells us in verse 17 that even then some doubted. And I think that's interesting that the church was formed with some doubt in it. We don't have all the answers. We have some answers, but we don't have all of them. And if you'd like to be part of a community that doesn't have all the answers, but that can help you be at peace with the questions, well, then we invite you to join us at McEver Road. We invite you to come by and visit us at one of our worship services. Won't you come and see?
Hall County Sports is brought to you in part by Green Ford on Browns Bridge Road in Gainesville. Check out the latest deals, and remember, when you go Green Ford. By Mountain View Auto Repair, a full-service shop for all of your automotive needs. Call Danny at Mountain View Auto Repair at 770-535-7278. And by McEver Road United Methodist Church. Visit us on McEver Road in Oakwood with 3 worship services every Sunday morning, Kids Town and adult small groups. McEver Road United Methodist Church is dedicated to transforming the world through the good news of Jesus Christ. We're back. We'll begin this week's wrap-up by naming our athletes of the week. For the females, Mayor Kate Rushton, North Hall basketball, scored 31 points in a win last week. Lady Trojans off to a hot start, and she's one of the reasons. The male, well, we're going to go back with Tyler Kratzer, North Hall Wrestling, repeating as our athlete of the week for the boys this week, won another tournament. In other news, West Hall Principal Dr. Greg Williams and Athletic Director Scott Justice have pulled the trigger. Tony Lottie has been named the new head football coach at West Hall High School, pending board approval. As an assistant, Lottie has coached the last 5 years or so at Woodland High School down in Henry County. He led them to a 7-3 record and a state playoff berth this year. Now, next week, we will have Coach Lottie on with us to talk about his hopes and aspirations for the Spartan football program. In other football news, Gainesville finished third in the final AAA Associated Press prep football poll. You know by now that they lost in the semifinals to eventual champ Burke County. Flowery Branch, by the way, was 5th in the Quad A poll, and they lost in the quarterfinals to that eventual champion, Tucker. The Lanier Running Club had a young man, Luis Gonzalez, out of North Hall, placed 2nd in the nation at the Junior Olympic National meet last weekend. We hope to be talking to Luis soon about that particular achievement. The Times has named North Hall runner Brandon Lawson as their boys' cross-country runner of the year. He won a lot of races this past cross-country season, including the region. He was 6th in the AAA state meet. Flowery Branch coach Jimmy Sarles was the paper's selection for Coach of the Year. The Branch boys won it all, and the girls were runners-up. And from all of us here at Hall County Sports, we wish you the merriest of Christmases. We'll see you again before the new year. I'm Gary Glenn.